Hello and welcome back to The Blend. I'm your host, Mikolaj Maćkowiak, and we've got an amazing show coming up for you today. This week we'll be talking to our special guest, Daisy Tweedy, about being a student nurse, the challenges she faces, as well as hearing from our audiences about if they think student nurses should be paid. And later in the show, Daisy will be showing us some of her meal prep for eating on the go, so make sure to keep watching. So now let's introduce our wonderful guest. Please welcome Daisy to the show. Welcome to the show, Daisy. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we have a great show planned. So, Daisy, can you introduce yourself for our viewers at home?
I'm Daisy, a second-year student nurse at the University of Salford.
So, what made you want to get into nursing?
It's the fact that the nurses have an impact on patients when they're really vulnerable and advocating for them to meet their needs.
Oh, that's amazing. And so can you tell me a bit about what an average day looks like on your placement?
If I'm doing a day shift, I'm up around 5:30 to be at the hospital around 7 to go and do 12.5 hours to 13 hours, and then sometimes do it again the next day with only an hour break.
Yes, I can imagine all of this requires hard work and a lot of your time. Is it hard to balance this between your placement and your personal life?
It's hard to find a balance, but when you get in the rhythm of it, it's a lot easier by having friends around you who support you and do stuff to get you distracted away from placement.
Yeah, and what are the most challenging parts of the placement?
Some challenges are how you sometimes get treated as a student nurse, the turning off after placement to go back to reality, and to go and write essays as well at the same time and do exams. It's quite hard to turn off.
Yeah, but it's all hard to juggle, and well, it's definitely obvious that you're all working hard. Do you think it's unfair that student nurses are not being paid?
Well, we get $5,000 a year, but we're meant to have it split up into 3 parts, but they never afford enough to be able to pay for things, and no one really wants to hire a student nurse as a job due to placements, so you can't really get a job.
Yeah, so Daisy, you've taught me a lot about student nurses, and I have to say you all deserve more credit.
Thank you.
Now, earlier in the week, we spoke to some of our audiences about whether student nurses should be paid. Here's what they've had to say.
Do you think student nurses should be paid?
I think they should, especially if they're on placement, they're basically doing a job.
Yeah.
And I think that's true of anyone who's on placement.
Well, yeah, no.
Expect them to do it for free, what they're going to live off.
That's the thing, we're all students.
And especially if they have to travel to go to their placements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even if it's a little bit, I think that if they're learning the trade and going to be the future of our nursing force, 100% should get paid. Yeah, just to help them, a bit of an incentive maybe.
Yeah.
Gets more people training.
So they are students as well.
Yeah, exactly. They need the money. Yeah.
Yeah. The question is, do you think student nurses should be paid?
I think they should be, because there are other industries and lines of work where people who work in sort of training or training positions do get paid as well. And I think with sort of the recent settlements that student nurses and junior nurses and doctors have made with pay rises, I think it'd be a good opportunity in a way to get them into sort of the line of work they want to be.
Yeah.
They do so much work. I have a friend who's a student nurse, and he's so busy all the time.
Yeah.
And he's poor, so I think he could do with the money.
No, that's really good. Yeah.
Now, this is the bit you've all been waiting for. Daisy is going to talk to us about simple meal prep ideas. So, Daisy, I imagine as a student nurse, you don't have much spare time, do you?
No, but meal prep's a good idea when I do, so I don't have to cook when I'm back.
Yeah, so what have you made for us today?
I've made a banana and mango smoothie.
It looks delicious, so can you tell for our viewers at home, how did you make it?
I brought some bananas and mango and then just put some coconut water in it and then blitzed it up.
Or should we try some?
Yeah.
That's really good, actually. So how much time do you spend meal prepping a week?
It varies. Sometimes I meal prep at the beginning of the week if I know I'm working 3 back-to-backs, but otherwise I put it all in the freezer and just get it out when I need it.
Yeah, and do you often stick to eating the prepared meals, or do you find yourself snacking instead?
Time it gets to my third shift, I've often snacked, but most of the time it is meal preps.
Yeah. Well, Daisy, thank you for sharing your recipe with us. For the viewers at home, you can find it at www.theblend.co.uk with so many more. So don't forget to check that out. But now, unfortunately, we have reached the end of the show. Daisy, you have been an amazing guest. Have you enjoyed your time here today?
I have enjoyed my time.
Well, let's cheers to that. And of course, thank you for watching. We'll be back same time, same place next week. See you then. Goodbye.